What is up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. It's time for episode 10 of Tigers franchise, and we're in the playoffs, folks. We have a first-round matchup against the Toronto Blue Jays coming up, and I mean, thankfully we made it, which seems crazy to say given how the year was going, but we decided to try to pull a little, disappearing act in the second half, going 13-14 in August, and then 13-19 in September, October combined, as we just kind of evaporated. The pitching was still there. As you can see, we still rank very well across most pitching categories, except for strikeouts. A little bit of a finesse team, which is rare for me. My builds are usually strikeout heavy, but the offense started to fade, and I even pointed out at some point during the last episode, before, as things were kind of unraveling a little bit. We were never in a huge doubt for losing our playoff spot, but things just weren't going well. I pointed out that I have some concerns about this offense, and I hope those don't come to fruition, but they're there. They're on the table. So let's take a look at the standings first and foremost. You can see that we went 90-72, actually the exact same record as our opponent, the Toronto Blue Jays. They finished 2 games back of the Baltimore Orioles. We had a 5-game edge over the Twins to capture the division. Of course, we're both playing in the first round, this 3-game set, so what was it worth to us? Not much. Really, really, really should have held on to one of those top 2 seeds. That in itself is the choke, right? Like, we didn't choke out of the playoffs, but don't let that obscure the fact that we should probably be sitting pretty for this wild card round, setting our rotation, getting anybody fully healthy if necessary. I don't believe we have any injuries that are pending like that, though. But either way, just bad, just flat out bad. But we're 90-72, matching the Jays. Let's look at the expanded standings a little bit. You can see that we actually underperformed. Our 140 run differential is the second best in baseball, behind only the Dodgers. And only 2 other teams were clear of 100, with the Twins and Mariners both at plus 107. In fact, the Twins, they were -7 on their Pythag, which takes your runs scored, runs allowed, generates a record based off of that. It's a pretty sound stat. It is kind of that simple. That run differential is going to give you a lot of information about how good a team is. And there's anomalies for sure. And a lot of times, if a team has a low run differential but a very successful record, you look to their 1-run and extra innings situation. And then on the other side, if they have a great run differential and a failing record, those 2 records, the extra innings and 1-run games, might be a problem. And the best example of that we can refer to is, of course, this year's real-life San Diego Padres. I think they were winless in extras and had like 5 1-run wins or something out of like 20 or 25 games. I forget what it was. It was really, really bad. You can see for us, we were 18-25 in 1-run. Again, the expectation is about 500, so we underperformed there a little bit. Extra innings, we went 6-8. Not the end of the world, but certainly not great. Add it all up, though, and we maybe should have been closer to 96 wins, which would have easily gotten the #1 seed. In fact, it would have tied the Dodgers for the best record in baseball. But that's neither here nor there. We don't have that anymore to worry about. We did great against lefties, 25-15, 65-57 against righties, 2-8 in our last 10, including a lose 3 to end the year. The Jays, for their part, they played right to their level. They were a dead even Pythag team with a plus 59 run differential. They were 9-11 in extras, 22-19 in 1-run, 29-24 against lefties, and 57-52 against righties, ending on a 6-4 record and losing their last game of the year. Let's take a look at these Jays, see what they're made of here in 2024. Just scanning the lineup quickly, I see a lot of the names that we're used to seeing with them, but a few interesting additions, including Zach Britton. No, not that one, but this is another Max Muncy situation, where there's another guy with the exact same name as somebody. And it's not a common name. This isn't John Smith territory here. This is Zach Britton, former reliever. It's not him, I'm saying, but spelled exactly like it. Looks like the exact same name. Outfielder for the Jays. That's so funny to me how that happens. Max Muncy, if you don't know, first off, he started with the A's, the Max Muncy that we know and love. Now there's a prospect drafted by the A's, named Max Muncy. Like, how wild is that there's 2 Max Muncies in professional baseball? Like, that's such an uncommon name, and there's 2. But anyway, Zach Britton here is a new guy. Willens Astudillo and Andrelton Simmons. So 3 interesting additions. And then Otto Lopez, Addison Barger, you might not be familiar with if you're not a prospects person, but they're both guys that are in their organization. Let's take a look at their rankings. We see that they're led by their offense. In fact, okay, they're a little bit of a mirror image of our team. Bunch of great rankings in the offense. Base running is their only thing that really falls short at 11th at plus 5.4 runs on the base running, whereas everything else is top 5. Most of it is top 3. A lot of firsts here. First in slugging, first in OPS, first in WOBA, first in runs scored, first in homers. You get it. A lot of that stuff starts to overlap too, right? If you're first in slugging, you have a decent chance to be first in OPS if you have a pretty good on base, which they do. If you're first in slugging, obviously you're scoring runs, you're hitting homers. So it's a lot of ways to say the same sort of stuff. Their offense mashes. On the pitching side, 10th in starters ERA, 7th in bullpen ERA, 8th in pitchers WAR, and a modest defense to say the least. So we know what kind of build they are. Let's take a look at their ball club here and go position by position. Alejandro Kirk, behind the dish, one of the best catchers in the game offensively, put up a nice 4-win season with a 126 WRC plus, 21 homers, his second straight 20-homer season. He's awesome. He doesn't bring much via the framing with just a 55 catcher's ability. That's a little lower than we would want. But I will say, if we had this bat behind the dish, I would play him. As much as I love catcher ability, I would still be playing Alejandro Kirk without incident, just so we're clear on where my thresholds are. I will favor catcher ability to a point, but if you give me this kind of bat, it's on, absolutely. Yermin Mercedes backs him up. Who remembers Yermin Mercedes? You know, just kind of a run-of-the-mill backup, nothing too special there. And this is a rough backup for me because he doesn't do any one thing super well, right? Like, if he's going to be a masher, give me like a 60 home run power and just let him run into a few and hopefully not hurt too much behind the dish. Or, my preference, give me a great catcher ability guy, right? Give me that prototypical backup, that Austin Hedges, that Jeff Mathis, that comes in, you know, twice a week, maybe even has a particular pitcher that he works with and just dominates. But Yermin, he's not really bringing it on either end. And then Britton, I guess, has backup catcher. Look at that. He's their 3rd catcher. He's a 30 catcher ability, so they probably shouldn't let him do that. And there goes Henry. See you, bud. Willens Astudillo is their first baseman. And look, he was a plus bat for the year, 109 WRC plus, but it is kind of wild that Willens Astudillo is the starting first baseman for what is ostensibly a wonderful offense. I'm surprised on that. Addison Barger. If you follow my Twitch series with my Vancouver Cougs, you know very much, you know, how we feel about Addison Barger. We are very accustomed with him. He's a major player for that ball club. You know, solid play everywhere type of infielder where he doesn't excel defensively, but he can certainly handle multiple positions. And then a pretty quality bat. Didn't really show the bat off this year at 86 WRC plus, but he can run into one. He had 15 homers. He can definitely be dangerous in a short sample, so I do not want to just overlook him just because his numbers this year weren't standout. Andrelton Simmons playing 3rd base. I figure if you're going to bring in Andrelton Simmons and you're going to accept this absolutely worthless bat, 42 WRC plus, then you got to put him at short, right? And you move Bichette to 2nd and maybe Barger over to 3rd. They didn't do that. They got Simmons over at 3rd, Bichette still at short. That's their choice. I'm not going to fix my enemy when they're making a mistake. Bichette, for his part, by the way, had an amazing season. Looks like an AL MVP candidate. 7.3 WAR, led the league. 154 WRC plus, 36 bombs, over 100 runs and ribbies, 35 steals as well. Just an all-around beautiful season from a fantasy perspective, from a real-life perspective. Any way you chop it up, it's there. The defense left something to be desired, as it often does. But I will say, minus 4.6 ZR. While not good, I don't think that that's going to be like bottom of the barrel. I might not have a great frame of reference though, so let me actually just, you know what? Let me just check, because I might be full of crap on that. Fielding stats. Let's go all infielders. Hit them with a ZR and start scrolling down here. Let's actually drag it down. All right, minus 4.6. Yeah, I mean, you start to get in the double-digit negatives. Like, it's pretty bad, okay? Because wait, where is he? Didn't I say minus 4.6? Oh, but his composite might be different because they might be adding in the second base work there too. So maybe he gets like minus oh yeah, there he is. So they're adding in the shortstop and second base work. So then he is one of the literal worst defenders. So he was able to make it up offensively there, but yeah, they're definitely making an error by letting him play shortstop. Dalton Varsho out in left field, another backup catcher, probably a better third catcher than Britton, but either way, they got 4 catchers on the team. They're never going to be catcher free. He put up a nice solid 2.5 win season, league average bat, just a quality player. 23 homers, 19 steals, very good fantasy player as well. George Springer out in center, 142 WRC plus, nice 4-win season. What's his defense looking like? Okay, pretty good in right, bad in center, so why not switch him and Varsho? Let Varsho play center, put Springer in left, because, yeah, he played right pretty well, and he'll train up beautifully in left, and then keep Otto Lopez, well, maybe put Otto Lopez in left. Okay, you know what I'm impressed with? They are throwing 3 dead spots here, actually 4 with Britton. Lopez had a 68 WRC plus, Britton 50, Bichette 42, and Barger, actually, you know what, we'll put Barger above that group because he's actually quite a bit better with his 86, but they're going 3 dead spots in their lineup, and it is still this strong. That's terrifying. Like, that's how good the rest of the guys were. Bichette, Springer, Kirk were hard carrying so much with decent support from Astudillo and Varsho that they could have 3 duds and still put up this kind of offense. Now, they didn't do this all year. Lopez played 65 games. Britton played all of 17. But Simmons was there all year, just canceling out some of their great offense. So this is going to be interesting. It's a situation where let's try to hope that Bichette and Springer don't beat us, and then we can try to, kind of pipe it down the middle for a lot of the rest of these guys and see what they can do, which hopefully is not much. Their backups, we talked about Mercedes. Cade Doty, I've seen him become an absolute monster in multiple sims. Looks like he was a kind of a league average bat for a very tiny 32 plate appearance sample. Jorge Polanco coming off the bench. He put up an 86 WRC plus in 104 plate appearances. Not too much going there. Young Jock Peterson, no longer so young at age 32. Also not old, though, let's be clear. 87 WRC plus, can still pop it. I'm going to be scared when he comes in to pinch hit against a righty at any moment. And then Jordan Luplow, he'll be the reverse of Peterson. I'll be scared when he comes in to pinch hit against a lefty. So they have a lefty killer, a righty killer, and then a few supplemental bench bats there. They're pitching. Kevin Gausman is the ace, and he's struggled a bit. The BABIP issues that he had in 2022 in real life have carried into 23 and 24 in the game here. He's improved his BABIP from that ugly 364, but 324 and 329 are still pretty rough, and they've caused him to have low to mid 4s ERAs each of those last 2 years. That said, it's still Kevin Gausman, and in a one-off game, he can dominate. Chris Bassett, 4.62 ERA, 121 whip. Looks like the home runs are doing him in at a 1.3 mark. He does have a 265 BABIP. Again, I don't look at these numbers and say, oh, that's terrifying, but small samples, he can throw you a gem at any moment. And then Barrios was the worst of the bunch at 536, 152. And he was actually an amalgam of those two, Gausman and Bassett, because he had a 343 BABIP and a 1.4 homer 9. So he took the worst of both of them, combined them, and gave you a mid-5s ERA. And yes, I will say the same thing with him. 45, 50, 60 ratings, that can give you a good outing in a one-off sample. So I still worry about all 3 of their starters, even though they didn't exactly tear it up this year. I just want to pay them the respect that they deserve because the OOTP gods are listening, y'all. Okay, and I tempted them enough last episode, so I'm trying to be deferential here. Their bullpen, looks like Enny Romero was one of their starters. He put up a 524, 147, so I see why he got kicked out for the playoffs here, but he's going to go into the bullpen. And then I don't know who their 5th starter was. Maybe somebody who's hurt. Oh, yeah, Vlad Jr., by the way. I talked about Bichette. Quick detour here as I go to look at the injuries. Sorry about that. Maybe this guy who was one of the greatest players in the entire league was part of why their offense was so good despite those dead spots. A league best 172 WRC plus and very strong 6.5 WAR. So he's also an AL MVP candidate with Bichette. He's out right now, but he's day to day. He can't return until after the wild card though. Oh, that's so great. That's so great that we're going to miss him. Wow. That is so fortunate for us. But I don't see anybody that would have been a starter on the bench for them. So I'm not sure exactly what happened, like who else was starting for them, because none of their other relievers have a single start. So I don't know. But as far as those relievers go, Brandon Eisert's their closer, far and away the best of the bunch with a 22% strikeout minus walk. He's definitely nasty. We'll see him for some 2-inning stints if they have a lead in the 8th, without a doubt. So Jordan Romero got ousted from the closer's role because he had a rough season. 5.35, 1.76 ERA and WHIP. That's ugly. Jimmy Nelson, 3 flat on the ERA, 1.19 WHIP. Eric Swanson, 4.12, 1.12. Chad Green, 4.61, 1.18. Jorge Lopez, 3.59, 1.29. And then Ken Giles, Michael Fulmer, they weren't great. And I'm just going to kind of pick up the pace on that. I don't need to read everybody's numbers. Bottom line, they are pretty much as advertised. Strong offense. Pitching isn't great, but can do enough. But they do have a big leg cut out from under their offense, and that is very lucky for us. Offensively, they start 3 lefties. Varsho's the most imposing of the bunch. Barger and Britton can certainly be dealt with. Pitching-wise, 3 righty starters and only 2 lefty relievers. Eisert is one of them, though. So we'll keep that in mind when making our playoff roster, which let's go ahead and do that. We saw before the end of last episode that the computer-generated playoff roster, which I'm going to give credit first, is normally pretty good. They normally put the right guys on for me, and there's maybe like a late season call-up or something where I'm like, no, this guy should be on. He's definitely won a role or something like that. I'll usually make a correction or two where I'm like, okay, I can see why they didn't necessarily have that the way I would have wanted it. But the mistake that they made, oh, look at this. We get a little Hank cam here. Henry coming in while Char stays out in the living room. There we go. We'll take that, buddy. Hell yeah. Hank doesn't know he's getting that bed. That's mostly Charlotte's bed. She doesn't, be mean to him if he gets in it. But if it's free, he'll sometimes jump in there. So nice to have you, Hank. Anyway, they didn't have Tariq Skubal in the default playoff roster, which was hilarious. He's almost certainly our ace. Now, I'm looking at it now, and I actually think that they might have had a decent reason for it. Is he going to be available? Did I screw up by letting him pitch one of the... Oh, my God, I let him pitch this second to last game. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, he can pitch game 3. Y'all, that has been one of my big flaws as a manager in this game. And it's happened a comical amount of times where I put us in a position where it's usually before the season starts. So the opening day starter ends up being like the 3rd starter because I let our 2 best guys start the last 2 spring training games. And that's fine because it's a full 162 game season. You can get over it. But doing it before the playoffs is just brain dead. And I botched that. I'm going to own that. That said, we do have Enriquez to start. It's not going to be Ashby available for game 2, though. We're going to have to pivot to somebody else in game 2. Maybe we do bullpen game in game 2. I think that's what we're going to do. We'll do bullpen in game 2, started by, you know what? Maybe newcomer Nate Pearson draws the start. Hopefully we get like 2-3 innings out of him and then just go bullpen all day on that. That's what we're going to look to do here. So we'll keep Pearson rested for this game. I think as far as the pitchers on the roster, we got the right ones. No Brisky. No Matt Manning. Oh, what about Beaker? Oh, wait, no. Okay, sorry. I keep confusing Beaks. This is one of the downsides of having a guy on multiple sims. You might conflate his greatness onto another team where he's not that guy anymore. Yeah, Beaks, because I get him in a lot of sims. He's readily available from the Rays, and he has strong stamina to be a great lefty stopper, so I get him pretty consistently. I've got him killing it for the Cougs right now, but don't forget this year in our world, he had double injury coming off that shoulder inflammation. Wait, I thought there was a second injury that he was coming off of in addition to the shoulder inflammation. Was it just the shoulder? Either way, he's wrecked. Not actually, injury proneness is still fragile, but I mean his ratings are wrecked. He's not good anymore. Franklin DaCosta, still have some hope for him in the future. He's only 24, but he's not going to make the playoff roster. Englert, Foley, Hernandez, yeah, none of them. Reese, what about Reese Olson? No, I think we're good there. Okay, yeah, so I think it's good on the pitching side. Offensively, looking at these guys, looks pretty good. Let's see. Rodolfo Castro, I doubt he's going to make the call. Favorite of mine. I actually quite like him in real life, but not going to let those favorites play here. Winsel Perez, Ryan Kreidler. Kreidler's a nice little glove, but he's hanging in AAA right now. Oh, Austin Meadows. Hello. So, yeah, that's a second guy. So, Meadows and Skubal. The computer has an anti-lefty bias. What is this, like the 1910s? When you would freaking get like thrown in prison for being left-handed or some shit, because this is ridiculous. Why are these two guys not on the roster? In what world is Austin Meadows not making the playoff roster? I'm sorry, Justin Henry Malloy, you got a sip of coffee in the majors, not even a cup, and we're gonna put you on the playoff roster? I don't think so. I don't think so, Tim.
I don't think so, Tim.
All right. I think that's set then. Now we go to our lineup. This is our key lineup because they have 3 lefty starters. So these are our dudes. McKinstry's going to be coming off the bench, and I do like that. I think that's a good fit off the bench. I think McKinstry and Torque are our guys off the bench against lefty and righty respectively. Specifically would have worked there, but not what I meant to say. Yeah, we'll bring in McKinstry against a righty, and then Torque maybe late against like an Isert or an Enny Romero lefty, and hopefully he can do some damage. And I'm really still hoping that he can get that 10 home run power and actually turn into something, especially as he's gotten a lot better in real life. Now I'm really hoping he can come through for us here in the game because I love Torque. I'm rooting for him so much. I'll fix the lefty lineup, but it doesn't matter. They don't have any lefty starters. So this lineup is not going to come into play. But we'll put Meadows there, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? All right. I think it's that time then for game 1. Actually, let me make sure the lineup looks good. I want to do that here instead of in the game screen. We'll go Green, Meadows, Watanabe. I think Keith is going to get our cleanup spot. I mean, he was only like league average. He was only up for a month, so he didn't exactly kill it. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I am going to stick with that. I like the right-left aspect of it. I know there's 2 lefties starting, but then we go right, left, right, left, right, left, all the way down after the 2 lefties opening it up. And I'm good with that. I don't want 2 bunches of 2 lefties just for the sake of Adames being like a little bit better power hitter, being in that 4 spot. Like, your cleanup hitter, yeah, he should be able to do some damage, but he doesn't have to be like a major power guy. I'm fine with this. We get our best guys getting the most at-bats. Don't ever get too bogged down in making your lineups, y'all. The data says you could pull it out of a hat versus somebody that meticulously optimizes their lineup, and the 2 teams are not going to be that far off over the course of a season. So, you know, you should try to do the best lineup you can. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying don't lose your head over it. Put your best guys at the top. They get the most plate appearances. That's what you want above anything. All right, game 1. Oh, we do get a day off, don't we? Yes. Okay, this day off is huge. So maybe Skubal can start game 2 then, perhaps? We got 5 emails. Oh, these are some scouting reports. Nothing to worry about there. Okay, so go back to this. Enriquez is fully ready. Pearson will be ready for tomorrow. Scooble's probably still game 3. That's fine. That's fine. Hopefully we don't need game 3. Maybe we win it in 2. Who knows? But game 1 begins now. And since Henry left the dog cam, I'll go ahead and take the dog cam off. Unless one of them comes back, we'll pop that off. All right, I like to do the comparison here by position. You can do it by lineup if you want, but I don't really care about that because, like I just got done saying, the lineup positioning doesn't really matter. I want to see position by position. So they get Kirk over Dingler, of course. That's a huge edge for them. But then we go 3 in a row with Keith over Astudillo, Watanabe over Barger, and Adames over Simmons. So nice, 3 nice advantages there too, right? I know Keith and Astudillo are tied, but I'll take Keith's profile over Astudillo's all day. And then Watanabe and Adames crush Barger and Simmons. They come back with a couple big dubs of their own. Bichette and Varsho over Baez and Badu. And again, Varsho and Badu, they're pretty close. But the Bichette over Baez is colossal. We get Riley Green over George Springer. That's a nice one. That's a heavyweight battle there, and we get the little edge. Now, these are just based off of ratings, right? It's just fun. I just enjoy looking at these. We don't put too much stock into it. In fact, we get the full last 3 here. Green, the Dub, and the Meadows brothers over Springer, Lopez, and Britton. But then they get Barrios over Enriquez, which, okay, sure. From a rating standpoint, yeah. But from a results standpoint, our guy was better. So we get a 6-4 edge here. We'll see what that means in the gameplay. They're coming to visit us here in Detroit, and there's going to be 44,976 fans coming in for a clear skies 55-degree game. Wind blowing in from right at 11 miles. That's going to be tough on some of these lefties trying to go yard. Let's get to the ball game. Live in Comerica. So, if you're new to the channel and haven't been on any of my Twitch streams when I play out games, the way I do it is we usually do a ceremonial first batter just to kind of get things going. I'll hit the pitch to batter here in a second. Then we start doing, we start risping, as I like to call it. We start hitting the until runners in scoring position button as we go through the first 5 to 6 innings, stopping when there's runners in scoring position and playing it out from there. Then in the 5th or 6th inning, depending on how close the game is and how deep it is into the series, we slow down and go batter by batter. So you'll catch on. It's obviously not that complicated, but let's go ahead and get into it with Ronnie Enriquez against Otto Lopez. And he's swinging first pitch. He's going to lift that one to center. And it's going to be reeled in easily by Riley Green. Let's go ahead and set the defense for the Tigers. Third to first, Willie Adames over at third, Javier Baez at short, Shosei Watanabe at second, and Colt Keith at first. Left to right in the outfield is Akil Badu, Riley Green, and Austin Meadows. Excuse me, it's Parker Meadows with brother Austin playing DH. And then you've got Ronnie Enriquez throwing to Dylan Dingler. The lineup for the Jays, Otto Lopez, Dalton Varsho, Bo Bichette, George Springer, Addison Barger, Alejandro Kirk, Zach Britton, Willens Astudillo, and Angelton Simmons. We continue on here in the first, and they got to run in. And it's going to be a solo shot by Bo Bichette with 2 outs. He is going to be a thorn in our side. We got to get Springer out, end this inning here. 1-2 pitch coming from Enriquez. And that one's lifted deep to left. Back, but not too deep. Badu reels it in to retire the side. They do get a run, and we head to the bottom of the first. Our lineup will be Riley Green, Austin Meadows, Shosei Watanabe, Colt Keith, Willie Adames, Akil Badu, Dylan Dingler, Parker Meadows, and Javier Baez. I'll set the Blue Jays defense here after Riley Green bats. He's swinging first pitch. Little ground ball to second. Easy play, 1 down. Setting their defense third to first on the infield, Angelton Simmons at third, Bo Bichette at short, Addison Barger at second, and Willens Astudillo at first. Left to right in the outfield, Dalton Varsho, George Springer, and Otto Lopez, with Jose Barrios throwing to Alejandro Kirk. We get nothing in the first, top 2. They got runners at the corners with nobody out. Oh boy. Pair of singles from Barger and Kirk. We're going to get the pen up, y'all. It's playoff baseball. We don't have time to mess around. We'll get Aaron Savale going. Zach Britton digs in. Full count. Lifted to right. Playable. but might be deep enough to drive in the run. Here comes the throw. It is in time. What a throw. Parker Meadows nails Addison Barger at home. I wasn't sure if it was Kirk or Barger. I'd forgotten for a brief moment there. What a cannon from Parker Meadows. 65 arm. What are you doing running on him? Green has a 50 in center, and Badu has a 45 in left. So we definitely stacked our arms. Best in right, medium in center, passable in left. All right, now we are in a much better position here with 2 outs on that double play, and Willens Astudillo trying to get out, trying to keep it going against Enriquez. 1-0 pitch. Actually, Jen just got back. I'm going to close this door real quick as there's a fly out. 2 left. And that'll retire the side. So nothing comes of 2 on, nobody out to start that inning. That was terrifying. We head to the bottom of the second. Still 1-0 Jays. And now we get runners at the corners with 1 out here. Ground out and then back-to-back singles by Adames and Badu. Let's hope that we don't fail like they did. We've got Dingler and then Parker Meadows with an opportunity here. They got to get us tied. Oh boy, Henry's trying to escape. Let's see what Dingler can do. Here, buddy, I'll let you out. And there's going to be a sac fly. Let's go. Henry's not as adept at opening the door like Shar. She just uses her little needle nose, and she can open any door. He's very tentative. Despite being bigger, he could just force it open. And I don't know. It's funny. It's kind of funny how tentative he is about, like, pushing the door. And Shar's just like, boom. She'll just run into it with her head. Anyway, 1-1. Dingler's at first. Wait, what happened on that play? Oh, Dingler was a fielder's choice. Excuse me. I thought it was a sac fly. I am but a goofus. That's what I get for getting up and letting Henry out during the play. All right, so it'll be Meadows with 2 down and Dingler on first. By the way, once we start playing through a RISP, like once there's runners in scoring position, like currently there isn't, but I continue to play out the inning, just in case you're wondering on that. 0-2 pitch coming to Parker Meadows. And he swings through that one, strike 3. But we get it tied here in the bottom of the second. It'll be the top of the third now with Simmons, and then the top of the order with Lopez and Varsho. And wow, leadoff double? No. Oh, sorry. Lopez wasn't even leading off. I'm a goofus. But it was a fly out from Simmons, single from Lopez, and then he stole second. So now Varsho up with Lopez on second. 0-2 pitch to Varsh. Ground ball to first. Enriquez will cover to retire Varsho, 2 down. Lopez does advance to third. It'll be Bo Bichette now. I'm hitting the pitch around on him. 1-0. That one's not a great pitch run. That's deep to center, and that's going to go to the wall. How's that pitching around? RBI double to center. How is that pitching around? Maybe we just got to go the IBB next time. Maybe we go straight up intentional walk, because I should have remembered, because I've had nothing but bad luck with the pitch around button. Now, of course, I'm being hyperbolic. I'm sure it's worked many times before. But there was one run, I want to say it was during my Montreal Expos series, where every time we hit it, and it was like 4 or 5 times, it was crazy, it resulted in an extra base hit from the scary hitter that we were trying to avoid. And I'm sure you're saying, well, if that kept happening, why did you keep doing it? This was spread out over multiple years with the Expos. So I probably forgot at some point. Then we kind of added it up. Like every time you hit pitch around, they get an extra base hit. So it was bad, but it just happened again. So I guess we'll just start IBBing them, or maybe we accidentally hit the number 9 button. I don't know. Who can say for sure? And then there's going to be a walk to Springer. Where was that? On the pitch around to Bichette. So now here we are with 2 on, 2 out. Enriquez is at 43 pitches. Savale is ready. And I warmed him up specifically because he could give us some length if he has to come in early here. What's his platoon split? He loses 5 movement against lefties, so not too bad. Enriquez loses 5 of everything against lefties, so he's pretty platoony. We have a lefty coming up here in Barger. Maybe should have had a lefty warmed up already, like Brant Herter, but too late for that. All right, Enriquez, I'm going to trust you. 0-1. I should not have done that. That's laced in the left for a base hit. It'll score a run, make it 3-1. And I think that's going to be it. I think that's going to be it for Enriquez. He says he's got plenty left in the tank. I don't really believe him. I'm going to go to Savali here. Alejandro Kirk digging in. 2-2 pitch. That one's going to get away and move 2 runners in the scoring position. The wild pitches in this game drive me absolutely batty. Full count now. Savali kicks and fires. Ground ball to short, deep in the hole, but playable. Baez fires over to make the play and retire the side. But 2 more runs come in. It's now 3-1 Toronto here as we head to the bottom of the third. It'll be Baez and then the top of the order with Green and Austin Meadows. And we got 2 on, 1 out. So Baez strikes out and then back-to-back singles from Green and Meadows, just the way our last inning started. Now, we only got 1 run out of that. This time we've got 3, 4, 5 coming up with Watanabe, Keith, and Adames. We got to do more than that. We just have to. So let's see what Shosei Watanabe can do here. And that one's going to get away. And so, you know what? I don't love the wild pitches, but at least we got 1 back. So I can't bitch too much about theirs because now it's even. Theirs moved them into second and third. Ours moved our guys into second and third. And let's see if Watanabe can make them pay or if this just takes the bat out of his hands and they walk him. 1-2. Nope, ground ball to third. That's not even going to get in a run. Oh, wow. Ground out does nothing there. Now we need a base hit to get anything. 1-1 to Keith. And a little tapper to the mound. Barrios makes the play to retire the side. Tigers threaten but do not score. We head to the top of the fourth, down 3-1. That is horrendous. And I expressed my concerns just, 20 minutes ago about our offense, let alone last episode. So this is not terribly surprising. Top 4 against Savali, and he got hurt. Splendid. How far did he even get? He struck out Britton, and then a fly out to Astudillo. So he got 2 outs as a parting gift. Hopefully he's okay. Let's see what's going down with him. All right, sore ankle. He might have gotten hit or rolled it, trying to field a ball or something. Minimal impact on throwing, moderate on running. Recovery time 2 days. I think we can play through it. Actually, you know what? Since the wild card is so short, we could get a new guy and get a fresher guy for tomorrow's game. So that's actually kind of an idea here. Toronto's got right, left coming up. So let's just go to Ty Madden. Hook 'em horns, baby. And let's see what the Longhorn can do for us against Andrelton Simmons. You better get him out. I don't want Andrelton Simmons to get on base once during this series or I'm going to lose my mind. As he flies out to center to retire the side. And we head to the bottom of the fourth, down 3-1. But he also has 50 pitches. He'll get Adames Badu Dingler here. And there's a solo shot from Willie Adames. Let's go. 103 off the bat. And it's 3-2. And that's all we get. But we cut the lead. We go top 5. Keep Herder warmed. And let's get Curvin Castro going. Top 5 here. Nothing for them. Bottom 5. Nothing for us. Okay, so top 6. Here we go. This is where we settle in and really start to go batter to batter, especially in a tight 1-run game like this. It'll be Springer, Barger, Kirk for them against Madden, who's only at 12 pitches, so he's sticking around right now. Very efficient inning from him last time out. And 2-1 coming to Springer. Lifted to center. Green tracking in that very spacious Comerica Park center field. Makes the grab, 1 down. Barger, 1-0. And he pops that one up into shallow right center. Looks like it'll be Watanabe taking that one, 2 down. And that leads up to Kirk with 2 outs. Full count pitch coming. Struck him out. Great inning from Madden. He's really calmed things down here. With 2 1/3 perfect thus far. It'll be Adames Badu Dingler again. That same trio. They lead off 2 innings ago? Oh, yeah, because we didn't do anything in the 5th. So that would have been the fourth when Adames led off with the homer to make it 3-2. Let's see what he can do here. 2-2. Ground ball to third. Slow roller, but easy play still for Simmons. Fires over to Astudillo, 1 down. Badu now. 1-2. Struck him out. And that'll bring up Dingler. He's 1 for 2 on the day with a ribby. Got that fielder's choice run batted in. 1-2 pitch coming to him. And that's Tapper to third. Simmons again fires over to first to retire the side. So we go 3 up, 3 down. We head to the top of the 7th. Still 3-2 Jays. Madden will get the bottom of the order here. Britton, Astudillo, Simmons. Our guys, I think they're both still ready, so that's nice. Castro's warming, so he's close. I think we push Madden a little bit here, especially with it being the bottom of the order. Let's go batter to batter, of course, as we're going to do, but I want to see if he can get through this whole inning. So let's give him Britton first. I'm going to run and do something real quick during this at-bat. Struck him out there, and it'll be Astudillo. 1-1 coming. Skied into center. Playable for Green. Had to make a pretty decent run in. Again, I mentioned how spacious that Comerica Park center field is. A lot to cover out there. And it'll be Simmons with 2 outs. 33 pitches for Madden. This is definitely his last batter. Let's hope he can go out with a bang here. 2-1 pitch to Simmons. Ground ball to short. Baez fires over to first to retire the side. 3 up, 3 down from Madden. Brilliant, brilliant outing for Ty Madden. 3 1/3 perfect with 4 punchies. Really settled things down here. Kept us in this game. It's 3-2. And they're going to Jorge Lopez. Solid day for Jose Berrios. 6 innings, 2 runs on 7 hits, no walks, 6 Ks. Did give up the homer to Adames. 97 pitches. Great work from him. And they'll turn to Lopez. 31-year-old right-hander. Big-time sinker baller. Extreme ground ball. Throwing 98 to 100. 4.55 ERA. 1.34 whip in his 27 2/3 with Toronto. Had looked a bit better than that with Minnesota. Quite a bit, I should say. 2.92, 1.25 ERA whip. And his strikeout-to-walk ratio was 20% compared to 8% with the Jays. So he's fallen on hard times with them. It's interesting. It's following a similar trajectory to when he was with Baltimore and then got traded to Minnesota. Great season to start with the team that he was with and then gets traded and falls apart. So I don't know. Maybe he just hates to be traded. We'll see what he can do here against Parker Meadows, Javier Baez, and Riley Green. 3-1. Bottom 7. 3-1 count, I should say, not 3-1 game. It's 3-2 in the game. And that's a base hit up the middle there for Parker Meadows. Sorry, I realized it was confusing there when I said 3-1. Did y'all lose a run or something? I think we're going to sit down Castro because now we're deeper in the game. And I think I want to go to... Job over Swervin Curvin. Actually, you know what? I'm good with Curvin Castro and Brant Herter being warmed up here. All right, Baez digs in. Now, obviously, he's a dreadful bat. We'll take anything we can get out of him. He's 0 for 2 on the day. He's on Snowflake. I don't really see... I cut myself off from saying that because maybe there is. I don't know. I don't really see if it's worth pinch hitting McKinstry, but maybe it is because it's righty-lefty. And Lopez drops 10, 10, and 5 on his stuff movement control against lefties. He's a fundamentally different pitcher. And interestingly, at least on the year, his strikeout minus walk ratio is better against lefties. I don't know what that looks like with Toronto, but it's a small sample, so we'll give him the full year sample. I just love Baez's defense over at short, too. You know what? I'm going to save McKinstry for a later situation. We'll let Baez try to redeem himself, and he lifts one deep to left, but it'll stay in the yard Gave it a ride, but Varsho makes the grab with ease. 1 down. Riley Green now 1 for 3 on the day. 1-1 pitch coming from Lopez, and that's going to be a little floater to second base. Easy play for Barger. Meadows dives back safely, and there'll be 2 down. And it'll be his brother Austin Meadows now with Parker on first. See if we can get a steal going. He's going, and safe. Whew, what a close play there. Good throw by Kirk. He's only got a 50 arm, so I felt fine, challenging him here. And now one brother can drive in the other to tie up the game. Full count to Austin. Flares one to left. Varsho tracking. Makes the grab to retire the side. So we get Parker to second. But we can't drive him in. We head to the top of the 8th. Still down 3-2. Ty Madden is officially done. He put up a brilliant outing. It'll be the top of the order with Lopez, Varsho, Bichette. So right, left, right. And I want to see platoon splits. Nothing for Castro. He is dead even platoon. I love that. And Herder loses 10-10-5 against righties, similar to Jorge Lopez. Statistically, also shows that split. He goes from a 32% strikeout minus walk to a 16%. Literally in half. And it's both. It's the walk rate jumping up from 2 to 8 and the strikeout rate dropping from 34 to 23. Pretty big differences. And I don't think Varsho is scary enough against righties to bring in the lefties. So I think we go Castro here. And then we'll go ahead and sit Herder because we're giving Castro the inning. And let's see what he can do here. 0-1 to Otto Lopez. Hard grounder to second. Watanabe over to first. 1 down. 1-2 to Dalton Varsho now. Castro kicks and fires. Struck him out. Nice. Nasty curveball there. Got him chasing out of the zone. And that'll leave it up to Bichette. Facing Bichette with nobody on and 2 outs is obviously the best way to face him. 0-1 pitch coming to Bichette. He's 2 for 3 on the day. Make it 3 for 4 with a line shot single in the right. We cannot get this dude out. It'll be Springer now. 0-2. Ground ball to short. Flip it to second. Easy out. Whew. Good play by Baez there, ranging. Now, McKinstry has a 60 range, so he might have gotten that play. I don't know how difficult it was. The visual doesn't always guide you perfectly. But I kind of feel like that might have been Baez's defense getting that play there, and it might have gotten through with McKinstry. So I'm going to use that. I'm going to extrapolate that to say I made a great move by not taking out Baez earlier. If you just kind of massage things, you can make yourself feel like a genius all the time. All right, we got Watanabe in. It'll be Watanabe, Keith, and Adames against Brandon Eisert. I made casual reference earlier to seeing him in the 8th if they had a lead. I've talked about this a bunch on my stream. The computer... So let me back up and say, I like that they bring in their closer for the 2-inning save consistently in the playoffs, right? Because that's a lot like real life. Go to your best guy. Maybe get extra outs out of him in the playoffs because it matters most. My issue with it is that it's guaranteed. It's like programmed in no matter what. If you're up 1 in the 8th or up 3 or fewer, the closer's coming in for 2 innings. And I'm like, I don't think it has to be that cut and dried, right? Like, because eventually you're going to run your guy into the ground if you have to do that every game too. So I don't know. It's not bad. I guess it's better to default to doing it than to have them never do it. But it is kind of funny how it happens literally every single time. Let's see what Eisert can do here. Big time closer. He's a 75, 50, 65. Great ratings. 2.83 ERA, 121 whip on the season. 31% K rate, 9% walk. His platoon split, dead even. Oh, excuse me, +5 stuff against lefties. But he's great against both sides. Let's see what Watanabe can do here. 1-2 pitch. And then Eisert kicks and fires here. And that's a hard grounder to third. Simmons snags it, makes the play. 1 down. And that's the reason that he's on this team. 100% defense. Obviously, he's a completely dreadful bat. I'm not sure he should be a full-time starter, but plays like that certainly help keep his spot. Colt Keith now, 1-0. And that one's shot to center. Diving grab by Springer. What a play there. He was playing it deep. Had to close. Figured diving was his best shot. If it gets past him, Keith's going forever. But Springer made a concerted effort there to make the grab and does. I don't know. I wasn't going to say concerted and I screwed it. So then I'm thinking about the wrong word I used there. Anyway, Adames with 2 down. 1-2 pitch. He's 2 for 3 on the day, including a homer. And he strikes out looking. Oh, Kirk stole it. Okay, that's close. That's close. A lot of times when the text says that they stole the pitch, it's more like the green one here. But no, it's this red one that's right on the line. I mean, it is a good frame job, but it's not egregious. That's tough on Adames. You got to swing when it's close there. All right, we head to the top of the 9th. Still down 3-2. It'll be Barger, Kirk, Britton. Is Herder still ready? He's warming, okay. Because they got 2 lefties here. I think it's worth making the move. And we'll go to Brant Herder here. Faces Barger. Barger going to swing first pitch. He's 2 for 3 on the day. And he lifts one deep to right, but playable. Parker waits for it, makes the grab, 1 down. Alejandro Kirk, now he's 1 for 3 on the day. Swings at that one. Base hit back up the middle into center field. Green grabs it. Gets it back in. 1 on, 1 out. Zach Britton now. Not that one. Full count. Walked him. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. So only got 1 out of the 2 lefties. Not what you like to see when you make a move specifically for particular guys. It'll be Astudillo now. You know the ball is almost certain to be in play. He doesn't strike out. But let's hope it's a ground ball here. I'm going double play depth. I don't know about the corners being in. Because he's not going to bunt. I mean, he does have 60 sack bunt. Maybe he does. But with 1 out, to give him 2 outs, I don't know. Like, that'd be fine. So, no, I'm going to play double play depth. Full count. Ground ball to first. Over to second. They can't make the turn. Oh, he does. Oh. Oh, but he's safe anyway. Oh, Baez had a late throw there. Usually when they hold it that long, you're not getting a relay. But we did get it, and I thought with Astudillo running, maybe we're still going to get the play there. But it ends up being a bit too late. Let's take a look at the replay there. Good feed. And he throws late. Oh, he just barely beat it out. I thought he still got him. All right, but there's 2 on, runners at the corners, and Simmons is up. We deserve to lose if Andrelton Simmons gets a freaking hit. And I'm being so serious. 1-2 pitch. Ground ball to third. Takes a short way to second to retire the side. All right. Last chance saloon here as we head to the bottom of the 9th. It'll be Badu, Dingler, and Parker Meadows against Brandon Eisert. And we're definitely going to go to a righty here. Is it going to be Vierling or Torque is the question. And we need the power. So it's definitely going to be Torque. And if the game keeps going, at least for now, we're going to put Keith in left and Torque at first. But we'll deal with that if we happen to tie it up. All right, Brandon Eisert digs in against Torque. Torque, by the way, put up just a 78 WRC plus on the year. Did hit 19 homers, but it was pretty empty power. Still trying to figure himself out here. A couple of bad years in a row. Hopefully next year he can make an advancement. But he can make everyone forget about that with a key hit here. 0-2 pitch, Rutrow. Struck him out. Just threw 3 straight pitches all in the same spot. 2 fastballs and a slider, and dusted him. Dylan Dingler now. I think we can let him bat. I was thinking about going to Vierling. Just because we need a runner, you know. But Dingler, Dingler's not terrible against lefties. Sort of. Yeah, I'm going to go Veerling. Veerling's a better chance to get a knock here. 0-1. Matt Veerling. Ground ball to short. Bichette fires over to first, 2 down. And that's going to leave it up to Parker Meadows. We're not going to bring in a righty for this. We're going to trust our boy Meadows here. See what he can do. He's first pitch swinging against Isert. Popped up on the infield. That should do it, folks. Bichette calling off Simmons. Makes the grab to end the ball game. And we lose 3-2 here in game 1. And that is very bad because you go down 1-0 in this series, and it's a big deal. It's really bad. I think this is all supposed to be capitalized. Oh, man. That is nerve-wracking, y'all. Take a look at the box score here. I'm scared. Y'all, I'm scared. The Bichette homer early. Then the 2 runs in the third. I mean, what did I say at the outset? Can't let Bichette and Springer beat us. Now, of course, that's easier said than done. But look who beat us. Bichette. 3 for 4 with 2 runs, 2 ribs. I mean, good thing freaking Vlad Jr. isn't here. How bad would it be if he was? It'd be even scarier. We fought. We were in it. It's just so tough in a 3-game set. Now your back's against the wall, and things tense up so freaking much. Put it on the everyday save during the playoffs. Let's go ahead and advance. Just not playing our best ball here down the stretch, and then bleeds into the playoffs with a tough loss. Really, 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 really want to at least push this to 3. Don't go out lame. Getting 2-0'd. Oh, man. You know what? I am going to do the thing with Savali to get a fresh arm because we only have Soroka. Only Soroka and Job are at 100% rest. You know, these 91s, plenty usable, Rom and Silseth. Even the Castro at 88 and Herder at 81, like, we can use them this game. That's not a problem. But he's day-to-day with a little bit of his throwing compromised, a little bit, minimal. We're only, if we really want him on the roster for the following series, should we come back, we're bringing him back in a couple days. But instead, in the interim, we're getting a fully rested arm that hopefully we can trust a little bit more. Let's see. Let's see what Manning looks like as a reliever. He goes 50, 45, 55. DaCosta, straight 55s. Englert. Foley, Mr. Home Run Suppressor, doesn't walk anybody, but the ball is in play a ton. Oh, no, it's going to be Reese. I'm going to give Reese Olson the spot. Yep, let's do that. During the playoffs, players placed on the IL must miss the following series. Oh. So we wouldn't get him back if we advanced. I think I'm actually okay with that. Like, Savali's been fine. But is he any worse than Olsen? Or is he any better? Is Olsen any worse, is what I meant to say. Like, they're different builds, right? It's a control versus power type of build. Like, the 20 control advantage for Savali is nice. Equal movement. And then only a 5+ stuff for Olsen. Okay, so just in the interest of full fairness, yes, Olsen is a little bit worse. But in practice, coming out of the bullpen, I don't think it's going to be. And the bottom line is I'm just not going to trust bringing in Savali right now when he's compromised for this game, and it's a do or die game. Just because, like, why would I bring in somebody who's compromised in any way, shape, or form? So I'm doing it. We're going to bring in Olsen. Put him in the pen. All right. Game 2. We got Bassett against their former teammate, Nate Pearson. Scooped him off of waivers. I don't really know with their pitching how they let him get on waivers. We happened to be checking that day. Got lucky. And I was like, yes, we will pick him up. Ooh. Odaner Mosqueda. He looks pretty good, too. What's up? He's got option years left? Oh, my goodness. Y'all, I cannot recommend enough to consistently check waivers, particularly when you're starting a new franchise. And especially if you're using a lower-end team and you're trying to build up. Waivers will put talent on the wire. And it's almost certainly going to be quality relief, first and foremost. You'll find an occasional starter gem and maybe even an occasional hitting gem. But you can build your bullpen off of waivers. And this shit happens in real life, too. Who's the guy for Arizona? Picked up off waivers from Tampa Bay. Was it Ryan Thompson? I was like, that's the most OOTP thing I've ever seen. He had a 6.11 ERA, 119 whip, right? That's a really good whip. It's 17 2/3. Tampa Bay, probably waived the 31-year-old to get somebody else on the roster, knowing like, hey, we still believe he has talent, but we got to expose him to the waivers here. Arizona picks him up, and in 13 innings with them, he puts up an 0.69 ERA and 0.54 whip. Now, obviously, you don't pick up somebody on waivers thinking they're going to go off like that. That's just incredible. But my point is that reliever turnover with their volatile small samples, that happens all the time in real life and in this game, and you really should take advantage of it. By the way, just a further exclamation on why the Savali move makes sense is because we're also doing a bullpen game today, right? I think at max, we're getting 3 out of Pearson. So that's just another reason to have done this. I feel good about this move. Win or lose, I feel like it's the right move. But I want to win. Come on. Game 2. Here we go. Nate Pearson against Otto Lopez. Everything stays the same from game 1 as far as the defensive setup for both ball clubs and the lineup for both. So no need to reset those. Do our first batter here. Now this one might be... Oh, struck him out there. Did we steal one? Where was that pitch? Oh, Otto Lopez got thrown out for arguing. Because as I suspected, that ball was a little sketchy. It's the red one here on top. I know this is not the most visible graphic. I can't make it any bigger or else I would. But you see the 2 little red dots here, the one that's the higher one. So it's closer to the zone. It's not horrendous. But it was enough for Otto Lopez to argue. And he got run. So we'll see who comes in for Lopez in the bottom half of the first. By the way, we might not do as much risping early on here because we are doing a bullpen game. So it might be a little bit of a different pace. Because we're going to get Olsen and CD-ROM going right away. And then we'll hit a risp. Nothing for them. Bottom 1. We got a runner on second. That's a leadoff dubski for our boy. Jordan Luplow comes in, by the way, for Lopez. Riley Green leads off with a double. Austin Meadows digs in, full count. Cracked into center. That one's going to get down. Gets down in front of Varsho. Or, I mean, in front of Springer, excuse me. Should be Varsho, but they're playing Springer in center. They're committing to the veterans with Springer and Bichette at center and short, respectively, when it probably should be Simmons and Varsho, who are also both veterans. What I should say is they're committing to the stars. They're letting them keep their positions, even though they probably, their defense says they should probably be moved. Watanabe now with a chance, 1-0. Hit 43 homers on the season. This will not be a homer, but it should be a sac fly. Riley Green, ball's average depth, average runner, great arm. Frick. I'm sending him. Got it, yes. I hate that they don't show the animation after that when they prompt you. By the way, they pick and choose when to do that. Because sometimes after you hit the button, then they show the rest of the animation, and other times it just goes right to the next play. But we did get it. Let's take a look at the replay. Here comes the throw in, and Green beat it easily. Let's go, 1-0. Meadows on first. Keith digs in with 1 out. 2-2 pitch. Struck him out. Nasty little breaker there. Oh, it's actually a changeup. I knew it was something off speed because that shit fell off the table. It'll be Adames now with 2 outs. 1-0 pitch. A little slow roller to third. Simmons up with it. Fires over to first to retire the side. But a Shosei Watanabe sac fly gets us on the board early. And we go to the top of the second here. They've got Springer, Barger, Kirk. 12 pitches for Pearson. Let's go a little batter to batter here. 1-2 to Springer. That one's lifted to left. Oh, it's going to drop. Wow, I thought that was right at Badu. Instead, it drops in front of him for a base hit. That sucked. Full count to Barger. Ground ball to second. Going to be a tough play to get anybody, and they do get the runner at first there. Watanabe had a tough one there, and Springer was going. He got to second easily, but we do get the out at first. 1 down with Kirk stepping up now. 0-1 pitch coming to Alejandro Kirk. And that one's lifted deep to left center. Back. Gone. 2-1 Blue Jays. Absolutely hammered. 4-0-3 to left center. That one got out in a hurry. Badu didn't even move. Shit.
Not great, Bob.
All right. You know what? Olsen's coming in next, so I'm not even going to worry about warming up CD-ROM. 2-2 to Britton. Struck him out. Let's at least get through 2 here. Come on. 3-1 to Astudillo. Do not walk Willens Astudillo. Are you joking me, dude? Did we just walk this guy? Are you absolutely shitting me right now? Nate. Nate's a sleeper cell. He's playing for the Jays. That's the only thing I can surmise after that. You got to make it look less obvious. The Black Sox weren't even this obvious about it. How are you going to walk Willens Astudillo? What, are you going to give up a hit to Andrelton Simmons next? 1-2 pitch. Struck him out. Okay, didn't want to make it look too obvious. But a 2-run shot by Alejandro Kirk gives him a 2-1 lead. So we held the lead for exactly a second. And we head to the bottom of the second. Down 2-1. Nothing for us. We go top 3. And we're going to go to Reese Olson here. Pearson, 1 mistake pitch. Unfortunately, it gives them the lead. So I can't be too friendly about your outing. It wasn't great. Olson's got 45 stamps, so we're gonna hit the wrist here. And they got 2 on, 2 out. Great. Single for Bichette, single for Springer. The 2 guys I said don't beat you, but okay, cool. First pitch swinging for Barger, and that's ground ball to first. Easy play for Keith to retire the side. So the Jays threaten, but do not score. We head to the bottom of the third, excuse me. And nothing for us. Top 4. Nothing for them. Bottom 4. 2 on. Nobody out. Let's go. Here's a big opportunity to go single, double for Keith and Adames respectively. So Keith's at the third, Adames at second. Badu up with the infield in. By the way, the infield in raises your batting average 100 points. Obviously, there's benefits to it, right? They don't just do it and it's all negative for the defense. You're trying, obviously, to cut off the runner. Excuse me. Cut off the runner at home. But I got to be honest, given what it does to batting averages, I'm not a huge fan of it in a lot of situations, and I think the game overuses it. Like, for example, in the bottom of the 4th with a 1-run lead, I don't think I'm playing the infield in. I don't want them to get some big inning. I just want to get my outs where I can. So if I'm getting a ground ball to Bichette, I'm just going over to first to get my out. The runner be damned, especially with the offense I have. But again, I'm not here to correct their mistakes. Let's hope it doesn't work for them. 2-2 to Badu. Struck him out looking. Son of a gun. Badu's one of my favorite players in real life, but man, does he frustrate me sometimes, both in the video game and real life. Although he looked better in the box down the stretch this year for the Tigers in real life. Bottom 4, 1 out, Dingler. You got bottom of the order has got to get the tying run in here, or I'm gonna lose my mind. 2-1 to Dingler. Cracked up the middle, base hit. At a baby Dylan Dingler. 1 run will score. 2 runs will score. It's a 2-run single for Dylan Dingler. And we have a thing in my stream about how catchers just become absolute gods in the playoffs in this game. It does not matter how good the catcher is, they become gods. We've especially noticed it with low-tier catchers rising up to be heroes. We have something called Octromo. That's like October and Romo combined. It's a little clunky, but it works for Drew Romo. Because in our Montreal Expos series, he became so electric during October after being a nothing hitter for the entire regular season. In another sim, Tomas Nido hit 2 grand slams against us in the playoffs as a backup catcher. You just saw Alejandro Kirk go yard against us. Dylan Dingler with the big 2-run ribby. He had a ribby last game. So yeah, catchers just absolutely dominate in the playoffs in this game. And now we have a 3-2 lead with 1 out, 1 on. Parker Meadows, 1-0 pitch. Skied to center. That one's actually going to get over his head. Holy smokes, that one goes to the wall. Go, go, go. Dingler going to score first to home. It's an RBI double for Parker Meadows. I was going to say 2-base hit, which is fine, but it was clunky there. All right, bottom 4, we're up 2. With the bottom of the order doing some big damage. Baez, stay hot, baby. Let the offense stay hot is what I meant, because he strikes out. He's still on Snowflake. I expected nothing from him, and he delivered. Meadows on second. Green batting. I kind of want to go for the steal here. I know he's already in scoring position, so it's not a good move. Okay? But I'm thinking, you know, because the thing you don't ever want to do is make the third out at third. But my thinking is, I like to be stupid. 1, that's the biggest one. 2, if he gets thrown out, Green just leads off the next inning. And I don't have a third. Yeah, it's dumb to do that. Let's just let Green bat with a runner in scoring position. 1-0 pitch. Crack to second. Easy play there for Barger. Throws it over to Astudillo to retire the side. Top 5. Olsen's at 27 pitches, so we definitely have to get the bullpen up. But I think he can still get a couple batters here. And we'll give him Simmons and Luplow and then kind of go from there. 3, oh my God, 3-0 to Simmons. We've walked Astudillo and Simmons in this game, y'all. How does that happen? Oh, I'm so freaking irate, bro. That makes me want to take him out right now. But both guys are just warming and nobody's warm yet. You're so lucky. 2-2 to Luplow. Struck him out looking. Walking Andrelton fucking Simmons. Now, I know he's got a 50 eye. Okay, it's better than the 25 for Astudillo. But you got to be kidding me, man. You just throw strikes to this guy no matter what. He can't do any damage. Okay, so 37 pitches. Both guys are ready now. Varsho coming up. The problem with ever going to a lefty for Varsho is that Bichette lurks behind him. And he's just, I know you guys can't see it, but he's much better against lefties. He gets +10 contact, +5 gap, +5 home run, +5 eye, and even avoid K. So he's just much better ratings-wise. Statistically this year, he was, oh my God, he murdered lefties. Now, I normally change the bulk of my sims to 1 batter minimum instead of 3 batter minimum because I don't think that's a useful rule. So we could always go to, you know, just go loogie with it and go 1 batter for CD-ROM against Varsho, but I don't like to use resources like that, especially this early in the game. So I think it has to be Job with the 2 righties coming up after Varsho. And we got to hope that he can get a lefty out. Let's see what he looks like against lefties. All right, he loses 5 stuff and movement, but he's 55, 50, 50 against lefties, which is not terrible. It's workable. I don't have a huge issue with that. He does fall off statistically against lefties, quite a bit, in fact. But we're going to have to trust him here. Unless we give Olsen one more batter. No, because even Olsen's lefty split, it's worse than Job's out of the box. And then you throw in the fact that he's tiring. So, yeah, Job's the move. 0-1 to Varsho. Runner's going. Safe. So now Simmons has walked and stolen a base against us. Magnificent. It will be 0-2 to Varsho here. Make it 1-2 now. Job kicks and fires. Struck him out. What a big punchy there. Huge curveball. Varsho slams his bat on the way back, knowing he missed a fat one there. But sometimes those fat curveballs are perfect because their eyes get all big, and if they got enough snap on them, it goes right under their bat. So that'll bring up Bichette with 2 outs. Simmons on second. I'm terrified here. I don't know what to... I'm just going to attack. 1-2. That one's laced to right center. Tie ball game. Because Andrelton Simmons drew a walk earlier, which is so cool. RBI double for Bichette. Oh, and Jackson Jobe has to leave the game. Awesome. And we don't know what his injury is yet. That's sick. That is very neat. That is very neat and sweet and cool and cute. I love that for us. I am not livid at all. Why would you ask him if I'm absolutely seethingly angry? What would make you think that? Oh, everything about how this game is going, you mean? I feel like when there's an injury, you can get guys to kind of come in at full strength automatically. And I wonder if I just go to Silseth here. Or try to trust Soroka. Man, I don't know. Springer's up with Barger, Kirk, and Britton after that. I can't give Springer a lefty. I just can't. We got to go Soroka. Oh, boy, yo. We're in some trouble. Fucking Boba. Oh, we do have a lead still. I'm an idiot. I thought it was 3-3. It's 4-3. So we do still have a lead, but that is no longer the case. We did for the moment that I said that. But an RBI single by George Springer makes it 4-4. So I knew, right? It's foreshadowing. No, I definitely misspoke. I forgot we had 4. But at least it's just tied. We're still in this. Equal line scores now. 4-6-0 for both teams. But they still have a runner at second with 2 outs, and Barger digs in. He's first pitch swinging. And he rips one deep to left, but playable. Badu tracks it, makes the grab to retire the side, but 2 runs for the Jays, ties it right back up at 4. Bassett's going to stay in at 85 pitches. He's going to get Meadows, Watanabe, and Keith. 3rd time through. Chance to do some damage here, I think. 1-0 coming to Meadows. Austin, I should say. I'm just going to call them Austin and Parker from now on. Austin flies out to Varsho, 1 down. Watanabe, 1-1 pitch. He's 0 for 2 on the day. That's a hard ground ball to short. Bichette bobbles it. Let's go. They're going to call that an infield hit, say it was hit hard enough that he wasn't reasonably expected to make the play there. It's 97 miles an hour. Let's go. I don't care if it's an error or infield hit. We got a runner on base. Colt Keith now, 1-0. Ground ball to first. Taps the base and fires over to second. They do not get Watanabe in time, so it's a fielder's choice with Astudillo getting the unassisted out and Watanabe advancing to second with 2 down. Adames now, he's 1 for 2 on the day. hit a homer in game 1. He's facing an 0-2 count here. And he laces one in the left. That's going to get down. Should score a run. Watanabe rounding third. He'll get in easily. Throw goes to the cutoff and then over to second. Can't get Adames in time. That's an RBI double, and that will spell the end of the day for Chris Bassett. So he's going to end up giving up 5 runs on 8 hits, 2 walks in 4 2/3 with 3 Ks, 95 pitches, and we do get to him that 3rd time through to make it 5-4. They're going to go to Eric Swanson here for Akil Baddoo. Get a platoon edge. Now, Swanson does lose 5 stuff and movement against lefties to go to 60, 45, 65. Not terrible, but susceptible to the bomb. Let's see if the pull hitting Baddoo can get it in the air and maybe do something. Now, he's only a 45 home run hitter, so not a huge part of his game. I'll take a double. I'll take a walk. Just get on base. Keep it going. 2-2. Swanson with the delivery. That one's laced to short. Bichette corrals this one. Fires over to first to retire the side. But a huge Willy Adames RBI double does get us the lead back. And we head to the top of the 6th up 5-4. High scoring affair early on. It's going to be a bullpen game the rest of the way. And I got to say, I'm a little nervous that we have nobody at 100%. It'll be Kirk, Britton, Astudillo. 2-2 coming to Kirk. He's 1 for 2 on the day with that big homer. And he lifts another one to left, but this one will stay in the yard. Baddoo, a few more steps in to make the grab. 1 down. It'll be Zach Britton now. Oh, I forgot. I didn't even get our field zones up. If you're in my stream, you know what I'm talking about here. But we got a little chart so that we can follow things. By the way, I missed a base hit there from Britton. That's unfortunate. So then we go here, field zone chart. There we go. So then you can read the codes in the game, because the visual can only take you so far. We say don't trust the visual, read the text. Because the text that the play-by-play is saying is going to tell you what's really happening. So then you can also look in the game log here, and these little codes right here, like 6MD or straight up 7, that'll tell you where it went on the field. Now, I'm not going to leave this up the entire game, but just when we want to reference certain things and be like, where did that ball actually go? Because the visual made it look like it went here, and then we actually find out that, oh, no, it was actually in a much different spot. So that one went 6MD, and as you can see here, that's 6 being shortstop, medium depth, and that's going to be right before it kind of gets into center field. So like a shallow single. And I think the replay did show that. Yeah. So that was just fine. But sometimes it'll show some goofy ones where you're like, wait a minute, that's not what happened. So yeah, we'll just bring that up when we need it, but I forgot to have that at the ready. But Zach Britton with a 1-out base knock. It'll be Astudillo now, who walked earlier. Still livid about that. He flies one to center. Actually, it's shallow center. Baez goes out, calls off Green, makes the grab. Was that another 6MD? Yeah. So we know exactly where that one went. And it'll leave it up to Simmons with 2 outs, who also walked earlier. Still irate. Full count. Walked him again. This game's fucking trolling me, y'all. You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be. You just gotta be. You've got a 55 control guy walking Andrelton Simmons. Again, I'll reiterate, it's not as egregious as the Astudillo one because at least he does have a 50 eye. But it's still vile. Because you knock the bat out of the hand of a guy like this. One of the reasons, like, this profile does exist in real life. A guy who never strikes out, has a decent eye, you know, great defender, but no punch in his bat. A lot of times these guys don't bring their walk rates up to the majors with them because in the majors they get challenged. Pitchers fill up the zone and say, here, hit it. I'm not going to walk you. I'm not afraid of you. I'm not going to hit the corners and try to pitch cautiously. I'm going to attack. And that's what we should be doing against Andrelton friggin' Simmons. By the way, I'm making it sound like I really hate Simmons. Fun player when he was at his peak. Just a brilliant, brilliant defender. You know, had some decent offensive years. Little bit of a, out there guy thinking that like 5G is going to get you, but hell of a fielder for sure. All right, it'll be Luplau with 2 outs against Soroka, who's at 19 pitches. And Luplau's first pitch swinging, and that scares me, and that's going to be lifted into left for a base hit. Might tie up the ball game, and it will. Unbelievable, dude. Unbelievable, these low-end hitters that are getting us. I said, don't let Bichette beat you. Definitely did that. And on top of that, they're letting the low-end guys consistently get on base. And now it's 5-5, and we're back at even line scores. 5-8-0 for both teams. It'll be Varsho now. Bot 6. Soroka needs to get out of this here. Needs to. God, I'm nervous. We got to attack Varsho here with Bichette lurking. 0-2 pitch to Varsho. Ground ball to second. Watanabe fires over to first to retire the side. They do get it tied, but thankfully nothing else comes of it. They'll have Bichette and Springer leading off next inning. All right, bottom 6. Swanson back out for another inning here. He only threw a third last time, but working into his second inning, I should say. It'll be Dingler, Parker, and Baez, the bottom of the order, against Swanson, and we'll see what we can do here. 1-2 to Dingler. He's been huge for us. Strikes out there, but that's okay. He's done more than his fair share with a team-high 3 ribbies thus far. Parker now, 2-1. And he's going to flare one. Oh, I was hoping that was going to dink in the left. Instead, Simmons yoinks it out of the air. 2 down. And it'll be Javier Baez now, who's 0 for ever. 2-1 pitch. Little base hit under the glove of Bichette into left field. Let's go, Baez. So I guess it's just both teams are kind of getting some love from the bottom of the order, because as angry as I am about the Astudillo and Simmons walks, John Schneider and company would be similarly angry about giving up hits to freaking Javier Baez the way he's been playing lately. I'm stealing. Oh, God, they're trying to pick me off. Never mind. Green lifts one to center. Springer camped under it, makes the grab to retire the side. So we get a hit, but nothing comes of it. We head to the 7th. Knotted at 5 here. Game 2 of this best of 3 wildcard series. We're down 1-0 to the Jays. It's going to be Bichette, Springer, and Barger here. Soroka's thrown an inning and a third, allowed 1 run on 3 hits and a walk. No Ks. He's at 23 pitches. So let's map this out. We got 3 more innings. And let me put him down there real quick just so I can look at the whole bullpen. Okay, we really shouldn't pitch Madden today. Herter and Castro are available, and Ashby would be a break glass in case of emergency situation. In addition to Rom and Silseth, who are available. Do we go? I think we go to Silseth right now with the heart of the order coming up. Try to get him through like between 4 and 6 outs, depending on how he does. I'd love for him to get through this inning and pitch into the next inning and then turn it over to Rom, and then maybe Castro closes it if we can get a lead. The problem here is that we're tied as well. I just don't have confidence in Soroka against Bichette and Springer, so I'm going to go to Silseth, and we'll see how this plays out. Silseth against Bichette, 2-1 pitch coming. I hate when they have a hitter's count. I'm terrified here. That one's popped up on the infield. Into foul territory. Dingler calls off Adames. I always want to put Adames at short, so I had to wait a second there for the names to flash back up. For the out on Bichette, though, that's massive. It'll be Springer now. Full count pitch coming from Chase Silseth. Struck him out. Look. Oh, no. They said it was a walk. Oh, I thought that was good. Oh, that's so close. That's a 50-50. That went against us. Springer walks there on a close pitch. Silseth, by the way, the 24-year-old righty, threw in at least an American League high, maybe an MLB high, 81 games. 125 innings out of the bullpen, a little old school fireman. 360 ERA. 360 ERA with a 113 whip, 17% strikeout minus walk. Does his best work against righties, 60, 45, 45, and then drops to 55, 40, 45 against lefties. Statistically, he held his own against lefties, dropping from a 19% strikeout minus walk against righties to 15 against lefties. He actually had a much better ERA, but this is why you don't listen to ERA and you look at the core skills, because his whip and strikeout minus walk ratio were much better against righties, and that tells the real story. He had an 87% left on base rate against lefties. That's a bit fortunate. But let's see if he can strand this runner here against Springer and get a ground ball double play to get out of this against Addison Barger. Ground ball to second. Flips it to the shortstop. Back to one. Double play. Got it. Exactly how I said. Stretch time here in Comerica. We are still knotted at 5. And it's going to be Austin Meadows, Shosei Watanabe, and Colt Keith, the 2-3-4, coming up against Swanson, who's now moving into his 3rd inning of work. He's got an inning in the 3rd with a hit, no runs, no walks, and 1 K. It'll be a 1-0 pitch coming to Austin. He's 1 for 3 on the day, and he grounds one hard to first, but an easy play there for Astudillo, 1 down. Watanabe now, he's 1 for 2 with a ribby. 1-2 pitch coming to him, and he flares one into right. That's going to get down. Drops right in front of Luplow for a base hit for our best hitter, and it'll be Colt Keith. 0-2 pitch coming to him, and he swings through that one, strike 3. Dang it. So, 1 on, 2 outs. Willie Adames coming up. He's probably been our best player here within this game plus of the playoffs, hitting a cool 571 with a homer and 2 ribbies. He's 2 for 3 today, and here comes a 2-0 pitch to Willie Adames. And that one's lifted to left, but it's going to stay in the yard. Ooh, with the 2-0 pitch, I was hoping, and I saw it go in the air, and I don't know if you could tell that little jump in my voice there for a second. I was hoping, and then I immediately realized it was dying, unfortunately. So we get a base hit, but nothing comes of it. We head to the top of the 8th, still tied at 5. Game 2 of the AL wildcard here. Still set that 11 pitches. We're sticking with him. It'll be Kirk, Britton, Astudillo. Kirk's 1 for 3 with that 2-run shot, and he's going to pop one up into foul territory. Should be an easy play for Keith, and is. 1 down. 1-2 to Britton. That one's lifted to right. Deep, but playable. Reeled in by Parker. 2 down. And they're going to go to the pinch hitter. Jock Peterson coming in for Willens Astudillo. You know, the curious thing about that, and my question's answered when I kind of click here and see that he's only a 25 grade first baseman. I would have thought that he was at least like a 40 there for Jock, because I was going to say, why aren't they just starting him against righties at first base consistently? But I guess they just don't believe in the defense there. But what about just putting Britton at first then and DHing Jock? Again, I'm not here to manage my opponent, but if I was running this team, Jock's definitely starting over Astudillo, a jillion %. But let's hope he doesn't do shit here against Silseth. 2-2 pitch coming. Got him on strikes. Let's go. 6 up, 6 down for Chase Silseth. Actually, no, he had that walk. So 7 up, 6 down. Doesn't sound as cool, but it's actually accurate. Actually, wait. It does say he faced 6 batters. Oh, because the double play. So I was right. But I didn't realize I was. So it doesn't really count. Oh, well, call me crazy. I'm so shocked at this one. It's the 8th inning of a close game, and the computer's called on their closer. Okay, I won't reference it every time. I'm getting a little annoyed at myself by always referencing it. But yeah, they are going to bring in Brandon Eisert here. Not even with a lead. I will say, I do appreciate the forward thinking of the computer there to not just get married to save situation too. Again, it's not that it's a bad move. It's just that it's so 100% that, okay, this is the situation. We are definitely going to go to our closer here. When you don't necessarily have to go to your closer every single time in that situation. That's the only reason that I keep, kind of harping on it a bit. But let's see what Badu, Dingler, and Meadows can do. Although last time they brought in Isert, Badu was the leadoff hitter, and I believe we went to Torque in a tie game, and we'll do the same here again. Love you, Badu, but you got to be platooned. And it'll be Torkelson against Isert. 2-2 pitch. Isert kicks and fires to Torque. Struck him out. Swings over the top of that one. Slider at 81. Kind of nasty there. And we'll go to Dylan Dingler. 2-2 pitch coming to him. And he strikes out looking. Nasty little pitch there. Fully in the zone, though. Another slide piece. So 2 up, 2 down so far, and they'll leave it up to Parker. And he's facing an 0-1 pitch, so at least he can't strike out. In fact, he'll rip one into left field. That's going to get into the corner a bit. Should be an easy double for Parker Meadows. Stand up Dubsky. So 1 on, 2 out here in the bottom of the 8th. Javi Baez digs in. And now this is a spot where I think I'm going to take Baez out. Because we can bring in Jermaine Palacios, something I didn't consider last game, who is not the exact same defender as him. I think Baez is 65s down the board, but Palacios is 65 range with 60s in the rest of the read. By the way, I call this read. Range, error, arm, DP. In my head, I call it read. So I'm going to start using that a little bit if you hear me say, oh, he's got a pretty good read. Although that can be confusing because that can just be used in other contexts, but whatever. You'll catch on. We'll get it. All right, Baez. You know what's going to actually save him here is he's facing a lefty. And I don't think... Oh, you can't do a compare? Oh, well, then why is it an option? Whatever. I don't think that Veerling's better against lefties. I think it's a different build. The net is probably essentially the same. Like, do you want the 55 power or the 55 contact and avoid K of Veerling? With a runner on second and 2 outs, you can make the case that you want Veerling, put it in play and see what's what. That's kind of a compelling case that I'm making to myself, so I'm going to do it. All right, Veerling, you're getting a big opportunity here. 2-2 pitch coming. Base hit back up the box. Exactly how we wanted it to play. Parker rounding third. He's going to come in. He's the go-ahead run, and he scores. 6-5, bottom 8. Matt Veerling with the RBI single. The manager move works. Let's go, baby. 104 back up the box. So Veerling on first. Green digs in against Isert. 1 on, 2 outs. 1-1 pitch. That's a ground ball to second. Should be an easy play for Barger. Fires over to first. And Cade Doty, who came in for the defensive replacement there, by the way, makes the play to retire the side. But the damage. That's a lot of damage. The damage is done, folks. So what do we want to do here? We can move... All right, we don't even have to use other resources here. I think we move Adames to short. Another thing I didn't think about last game when I was contemplating taking out Baez. I'm an idiot. Veerling to left. Colt Keith, he's challenged over at third, but he does have a 60 arm, so we're going to give him third. And then Torque to first. And that way we don't have to use extra resources right now because we only have a couple left and our backup catcher. So I feel pretty good about that. Meanwhile, we got CD-ROM and Kervin Castro at the ready here in the bullpen. Let's take a look at Silsat's status. He's at 23 pitches through 2 innings, 6 up, 6 down because of the double play. It's going to be Simmons, Luplau, and Varsho. I'm going to push him. Full count coming here to Simmons. He's walked like 15 times this game. Ground ball to short. Adames fires over to first, 1 down. Wow, we got the amazing Andrelton Simmons out somehow. It must be magic. Jordan Luplow, 1-1 pitch coming from Silseth. Popped up. Who's going to take it? Adames. Calls off Keith, makes the grab, 2 down. And 1 more out to get. Silseth's at 33 pitches. I think this is a spot where I will go to Rom. If he doesn't get the job done, we immediately go to Castro. Now, I do not fully remember if we actually do have 1 batter minimum in this sim. I change it in virtually all my sims. But I am taking a risk here that if we don't, then all of a sudden Rom has to face Bichette and Springer. Or we just trust Silseth against a snowflaked up Varsho. I can still pound the zone, but only for a couple more batters. That's usually an immediate takeout for me. But in this situation, only needing 1 more out, I'm going to trust my guy. I'm so scared. 0-1 pitch coming. Ground ball to short. Adames fires over to first. Ball game. We're going to a game 3. What a dub there. What a dub. Oh my goodness. That was a hell of a game. Every time we scored initially, until that very last time, they scored the half inning right after. Score 1 in the first, they get 2 in the second. Score 3 in the fourth, they get 2 in the fifth. Score 1 in the bottom of the fifth, they get 1 in the sixth. But score 1 in the eighth, and nada. Chase Silseth with 3 hitless innings. The 1 walk erased immediately by double play. He was brilliant. He should get the win and the save. I know that's not possible, but change the rules, okay? Because it's better. It's a better rule if you do that. Let's freaking go. All right. Lopez ejected early. Luplow went 1 for 4 with a rib, so probably didn't hurt him that much. Lopez is a pretty dreadful hitter, to be honest. It's comical that they have him leading off. So if anything, I might have preferred that Lopez stays in that role because look at Luplow's numbers. Small sample for sure. 147 plate appearances, but very good. Mostly against lefties. But even his 85 WRC plus against righties is better than what Lopez is doing, so that was a blessing in disguise for them. Or not even in disguise, it was just good. All right. Oh, I like that it does the compare now. The compare that I tried to do in game. Like, oh, did you want to see these 2 players? No, game. Too late on that one. All right. It's going to be a decisive game 3. Let's go ahead and get a save in there. Let's see what's up with Job. Has Job made a terrible mistake? Or a huge mistake. Sorry, I botched it. I was trying to reference Arrested Development there. I've made a huge mistake. Back tightness, not serious. He should be ready to play at full strength immediately. Okay. So then we can't even IL him if we wanted to. And we're not going to. That's fine. He's 100% good to go. Speaking of 100%, Tree Scooble is as well. And I don't know if you noticed, but because of their fatigue and whatnot, I didn't even point this out earlier, so I botched that. By the way, one quick correction. At the very beginning of the episode, I just noticed it, so y'all probably noticed it 2 hours ago when this episode started. I said that Toronto had the same record as us because I was looking at Tampa Bay. They were 86 and 76. Not the same record as us. I am but an idiot. I hope one of y'all is like me and like you comment like as you're watching. I don't know anybody that like waits till the end, right? If you're going to comment on something, you're going to comment when it's happening. But I like the idea of somebody commenting that back when they saw it, and now me correcting it. So, way to go, idiot. Nice correction. I found it. No, I'm the idiot. I'm just joking, obviously. But yeah, I should have noticed that when I pointed out how they were equal on their Pythag, and I looked right here at 86 and 76, but it just didn't register with me. So, it doesn't really matter, but I just like, you know, I like to get the corrections out there. Anyway, what I was going to say was that Gosman is now pitching because he was not ready initially. And I didn't initially notice that when I thought they were going to be able to go Gosman, Bassett, Barrios. But just like us, their number one guy has to pitch game 3. So it'll be Skubal against Gosman. Let's go back to the Jays here for a sec. Against lefties, they had a .547 win percentage. A little bit better than their verse righty. And their most dangerous guys are right-handers. So this is a little scary, but we're going to trust our guy. Skubal's the man. How great is Skubal in real life, man? What a close to the season. His fantasy price is going to be off the charts. And I'm going to be contributing to it. So good luck getting him in a league with me. All right, and just like last game, literally nobody in the pen is at 100%. When did Ashby last pitch? Why is he dead? He's still only at 74%. He pitched 4 days ago. Are there like individual stamina ratings? Because it'd be really nice to have him to like be able to lean on for multiple innings here. I mean, he's going to have to pitch this game regardless. Like ready or not. The only one who I can't envision pitching unless it goes like 15 innings is Silseth and probably Olsen. I'm in my mind, I'm putting them as unavailable, but you know, it's do or die. So speaking of, I'm putting Enriquez in the bullpen because we would absolutely use him if necessary. All right, here we go. Game 3. This has been a hell of a series. We still have the 6-4 edge. Everything stays the same for both clubs. Lopez is back. Obviously, he doesn't get suspended beyond just getting booted from that game. They get the edge of Gosman over Skubal, which is fine. 45,000 showing up. 50-degree weather. Wind blowing in from right at 11. So the wind's been consistent. Actually, I didn't check it in Game 2. But it looks exactly the same as Game 1. Game 1 was, yeah, in from right at 11. Game 2, right to left at 10. And then today, in from right at 11. All right, here we go. At least we get all 3 games at home. Oh, shit. Just by backing out and going back in, the weather changed. It's now 54 degrees. Wind blowing in from center at 9. Okay, I mean, you already couldn't go yard to center in this game anyway, or in this park, I should say. Good luck doing it now. Do we want to make any lineup changes in terms of batting order? You know, I had originally mentioned this about the back-to-back righties and then back-to-back lefties. I'm going to move Adames up, but I'm also going to move Watanabe up. So we still keep the right-left aspect going. We do have one cluster of double lefties there. It's just, I don't want to say it's unavoidable because we could maneuver it. Actually, no, I think it is technically unavoidable. Because even if we move Parker down to 9, then Green is there. So yeah, we'll just do this. And we'll go Green, Watanabe, Meadows, Adames, Keith, Badu, Dingler, Parker, and then Baez. So one small shift there. All right, here we go. Do or die, Game 3, here in Detroit. Skubal against Lopez to start it off before we start Rispin. 1-2. Struck him out. Cry about that one. Get ejected again, dum-dum. Actually, don't. Stay in. You're worse. Especially, yeah, scratch that. I don't want Loop Wow in against a lefty. I'm frankly, again, surprised that they don't start him over Lopez, but whatever. Let them make bad moves. All right, top one, nothing for them. Bottom one, nothing for us. Top two, they got to run. George Springer solo shot. I mean, the two guys that just don't let them beat you have just consistently done that. And frankly, you could throw in Kirk too, right? Because he's easily their third best here. So the three best guys have just carried, done exactly what you need when you have a lineup that's a little bit concentrated on, you know, a handful of guys. So that's frustrating. And now they have two on. So Homer single to start the second with Britton digging in against Scooble, and he gets hit. Oh my God. Oh, bases loaded. Astudillo up. 1-2. Struck him out. Okay. I got to be consistent here, right? I get frustrated at something like a walk against him. Like, that absolutely drives me batshit crazy. On the other end there, getting a strikeout against somebody with 95 avoid K, that's a little tick mark in our favor. So I can't just bitch when the outlier things go against us. I gotta acknowledge when an outlier thing goes for us there. So that helps. And now we're a ground ball from getting the hell out of this without too much damage. Can Scooble get that out of Andrelton Simmons here? 3-1. Oh my God, are you kidding me? That one's gonna be flared into right, reeled in, and the throw comes in, and nobody will move. When I said, "Are you kidding me?" it's because I thought 3-1 was gonna lead to a walk. Thankfully, it didn't. It led to a fly out. And now the bases are still loaded with 2 outs, and Otto Lopez digs in against Scooble, and it's a 1-2 pitch. Ground ball to short, and he botches it. Oh, my God, Javier Baez. You got to be kidding me, brother. Wow. And they're going to give him an infield hit on that. I call horse shit, but I guess they're saying he ranged far enough to where, you know, most shortstops aren't going to get there, so it's a hit instead of an error, but whatever. 0-2 to Varsho, struck him out. But the damage is done. It's 2-0. We go to the bottom of the second. And we get a run back. Let's go. Solo shot by Colt Keith with 1 out. So we're back in it, 2-1. Not that we were dead at 2-0. I just like to whine when things don't go our way. Top 3, runners at the corners with nobody out. Okay, so we got to get the bullpen going. The snowflake on Scooble is still present. He's still very much up against it here. We'll get Castro, and you know what? We're going to go to Rom early, perhaps. Actually, no. I'll save him for later. I'll go Herder. Castro and Herder. All right, so Barger's up. Lefty. 1-2 pitch. Needed the strikeout there. That's massive. And now here we are. Ground ball away again. But it won't be easy against Kirk. Do I dare hit pitch around? Is that even going to work? No, I'm just going to pitch to him. I don't trust it. 1-0. Ground ball to short. Flips it to second. Back to 1. Double play. Bang! Let's go. Just hit the 1 instead of the pitch around, and it worked. All right, bottom 3. Nothing for us. Top 4, 48 pitches for Scoobs. It's going to be left, right. It's the bottom of the order. I'm not going to risk it, but I am going to trust Scooble here. We're gonna push him a little bit. 1-1. Lifted to left. Baez actually going to go out into shallow left and make the grab. 1 down. Full count to Astudillo. Popped up on the infield. Who wants it? Watanabe calls everybody off to make the grab. 2 down. And that'll leave it up to Simmons. 1-0 pitch. It's been a thorn in our side the whole series. That's ground ball to third. Should be an easy play, and is. 3 up, 3 down there in the fourth. Good settle down inning for Scoobs. We head to the bottom of the fourth, down 2-1. And we got a runner on second with 2 outs. Strikeout, single, ground out, with Adames advancing on the ground out. And Badu with an opportunity, 2-1. And that's a little tapper up the middle. Could be an infield hit. Not in time. Nice throw. Or Badu was not in time, is what I should say. But anyway, we're out of the inning. We go to the top of the fifth. Still feel like Scooble can give us more. I'm just reluctant to go full risp and like let the inning kind of take over, especially with the top of the order coming up here. We'll go batter to batter still. It's do or die. We usually stop risping sooner during the do or die games. There's a ground out to third, 1 down. 1-1 to Varsho. And that one's lifted to center. Reeled in by Green, 2 down. And now Scooble with a big opportunity here to go 3 up, 3 down. He'll have to get Bichette out, who's 1 for 2 on the day and hitting a cool 600. Straight up 6 for 10 with a homer and 3 ribbies during the series. Let's see what he can do. 0-2. Scooble kicks and fires. And that one's lifted deep to center. Back. Gone. So much for it being difficult to go yard in center field at Comerica with the wind blowing in. Bo Bichette. Solo shot. Tattooed. How far was that? 419 to dead center. Wow. 3-1. 2-1 to Springer. I hit the pitch round just to see what would happen here, and it's going to be a hit. Okay, I don't know. Why do I keep banging my head on the wall doing that? I'm an idiot. I should have just intentionally walked him or hit him. But I just wanted to get around him to go to Barger there. Go lefty-lefty here. This will be Scooble's last batter regardless of what happens. First pitch swinging. Actually, no, Springer's running. Oh, my God. We're giving up steals to Grandpa Springer here. I mean, he was 12 for 13 on the year. Still a very efficient base runner, but come on, Dingler. You got a 70 arm, for God's sakes. 0-1 to Barger. And that one's blasted deep to left. Gone. It's 5-1. Addison Barger goes lefty-lefty. And we are in some deep trouble, y'all. That's going to be it for Scooble. Gives up 5 runs on 9 hits. Just didn't have it. Maybe the computer was right to leave him off the playoff roster. All right, we head to the bottom of the fifth, down 5-1. Gosman's still out there. He's coasting, only at 56 pitches. Nothing for us. Top 6. Nothing for them. Bottom 6. We go clean. Top 7. Oh, pitcher getting fatigued. All right, we'll go Ashby. Sure. All right, stretch time here. Still down 5-1. We'll do one more risp. And nothing for us. Yeah, Gosman just has our number. All right, top 8. They get nothing and get... Wow. It's the 8th. Nope, sorry, I said I wouldn't acknowledge it. Isert comes in here at bottom 8. See if we can do anything here. 3-1. I'm not going to risp it all the way through, even though we're down 4. We'll play out the last 2 innings here, of course. And a walk for Baez. Okay, I can't complain as much about the Astudillo and Simmons walks when Baez is getting one. It's a topsy-turvy world here. It's a great way to start the inning with our number 9 hitter getting a walk. 0-2 to Green. Ground ball to second. They'll have to take the runner at first there as Baez quickly moves over to second. 1 down. It'll be Shosei Watanabe now. 2-1 pitch coming from Isert. And that one's cracked deep to center, but as I mentioned earlier, this park is far too spacious to do much damage unless you're Bo Bichette. And that will give us 2 outs here, bottom 8. Baez does advance to third, and I'll leave it up to Austin Meadows. He's first pitch swinging, and he's going to doink one into center. That's going to get a run in, make it 5-2. All right. A little 2-out rib. We'll take that. Adames, keep it going. Good team with 2 now. 1-2 or 1-0 pitch. Grounder to short. Flips it to second to retire to the side. We scratch 1 across, but we're still down 3 going into the 9th. It'll be Simmons, Lopez, and Varsho, all 3 of whom are on Snowflake. Excuse me. But then 3 of their next 4 are on Fireball. So, tells you who's been carrying the offense. 3-1 from Ashby to Simmons and walked him again. I'm not even going to bitch about it. I'll spare you all the whining. Maybe he shouldn't be on a Snowflake, given that he's like the most patient, greatest hitter ever, Angelton Simmons. Unfreaking believable. All right, to try to get Joe warmed up a little quicker, I'll just do pitch by pitch. I'll do 1 pitch here real quick. And then I'll do the visit. And now he's at least warming. So it helps him get going. Like, you still can't really get him warmed up within 1 at-bat. But at least it helps. So now we'll give Ashby Lopez. And then, well, probably going to give him Varsho too since it's lefty. But we'll see. 2-2. Ground ball to second. Flips it to the shortstop. Back to 1. Double play. And then it'll be Varsho now with 2 outs. 0-1 pitch. And ripped into right for a base hit. Lefty-lefty. They've had some key lefty-lefty hits against us, including that Barger home run, which is now looming so large. Could you imagine if it was only 3-2 right now? Oh, look, Bichette's up. Great. Oh. Did I accidentally hit the 9 button? Oh, my bad. That was an accident. And sometimes accidents happen, you know. You just have to be mindful of that. We'll go to Job here against Springer. 2-2. I'm going to get punished here with a 3-run shot, I'm sure. Or base hit in the left. Shallow enough to get the throw in? Nope. It'll score the run. So they immediately get the run back. And that's what I get for fucking around. And that one's lifted into the right center gap. Yeah, this one's over, y'all. It's Jover. 2-run double. Make it 8-2. Job's just getting absolutely smashed. Ground ball to third. Retire to the side. All right. We head to the bottom of the 9th. Isert against Keith, Badu, and Dingler. Get some pinch hitters in here. We'll go Veerling first. 1-2 pitch. Struck him out. We'll go Torque for Badu. 2-1 pitch. Skied into center. Springer backs up a bit, but has a bead on it and makes the grab. 2 down. And that leaves it up to Dingler. Our season is in the balance. Full count pitch coming. Walked him. We're still alive. And they're actually going to go to Chad Green to close this out. Isert's pitched all 3 games. They're running him up a bit. Maybe we can get going against some of these weaker parts of their bullpen, rather. 0-2 to Parker. Maybe not. Struck him out looking. Ball game, series. Hats off to the Jays. And unfortunately, y'all, it played exactly as I was worried with regards to the offense just not quite being there. Meanwhile, their offense had a huge leg cut out from under it in the form of Vlad Jr. It didn't matter. Their stars starred. Bichette, Springer, Kirk, and then Barger basically joined the club there. He doesn't have the same ratings as them, but he wanted to get in the mix and be a stud as well. And those 4, I mean, 4 out of 9 is damn near half the lineup. So it's not like they were just 1 or 2 guys. That's still a good chunk of the lineup doing damage. But you know what? Our first year in the playoffs, not too bad. Okay, we were really ahead of schedule. I'd have been really surprised if this team could have made like a huge run. I was hoping to maybe get into that second round. But it's all right. By the way, I think for next year I'm going to change it to wildcard best of 3 and then 7s the rest of the way. I don't like back-to-back short series. 3, then 5. No. That's not for me, but we'll change that. Bichette, of course, gets the MVP. No surprise there. again, good on the Jays. They did their thing. And we're a young team kind of getting our first opportunity in here. I don't want to say we're like the real life Orioles this year, but it's sort of that vibe of first time back in the dance with a new core. And, sometimes a team can make a run. This doesn't always happen this way, but a lot of times you see they get in that first time, they kind of get punched in the face, get back the next time, maybe make it a step or two further, and then maybe that third or even fourth time when they bring home the crown, right? We see that pattern play out a lot, kind of the stair step to becoming great. Because you're facing those battle-tested teams like the Astros who make it every year, or on the NL side like the Dodgers. And I know the Dodgers got ousted early this year, but, a lot of times it doesn't just happen instantly unless you're the Marlins. And the first 2 times you make the playoffs, you win the World Series. So we've got a lot to go over in the next episode. This one's already getting pretty long here. But there's the playoffs. I will sim out the rest of the playoffs, get into the awards, and we will set the table for the off season in the next episode. So that's how that will go. I did not make my timeline for what I said last time. I said, I'm putting this out on Tuesday, so maybe the playoffs will be Wednesday. And here it is I'm recording it on Friday, and it might come out on Saturday, so we'll see how that goes. But appreciate y'all bearing with me. They are coming out more consistently now, so I hope you guys are glad to have the series back. I want to get it on a set schedule where you can expect them on, these 3 days or something. So I'm trying to get a backlog going to where we have that. So stay tuned. But as I mentioned, Tiger Series isn't going anywhere. I appreciate all y'all watching. Hit a like, hit a subscribe. Talk to y'all later. Peace.